Welcome. This is a demonstration of Gospel Library for Android. When you first launch the application, it will update the catalog to the most recent content available. After this happens, you'll see this screen that we're on right now, where it allows you to set up one of our new features called Annotation Sync. When you click Set Up Now, you'll be prompted to enter your username and password. This is for your LDS account. So once you click Sign In, you'll have the ability, you wait a few minutes and then it will sync your annotations. This just depends how many annotations you have. It can take anywhere from a few seconds to a couple minutes. You press OK once that's completed, and you'll arrive back at the home screen. Once you're there, you can start to download content. You'll notice that we have the same options we've had in past versions. We have the download all, remove all, and then we also have a refresh button that will refresh what content's available in the catalog. We have changed the behavior of download all so that now in a top level, this is best noticed in something like magazines where we have a lot of subcategories. It used to be that you'd have to go into each magazine and then the year and select download all. Now you can select download all at this top level and it will allow you to download. It will tell you that this is quite a bit of content, but you are allowed to do it. So just be aware that it will take quite a bit of time if you choose that in a section that has a lot of content. But if we go back to scriptures, we can say download all, and this won't take nearly as long. This will go through and download and install each of the books. While this is happening, we can browse through the content and we can download other books as well. So while these you'll see that there's also a notification that will you can tap and it will show you the status of each of your downloads. This is scrollable. You can go through and you can see while they're downloading. You can cancel items as well. You'll notice there's also multiple languages that can be selected. We can change the language that we're seeing content in. Each language has a slightly different set of content that is available depending on what we have published in that language. Now that that's complete, we can look at some of the other menu items that we have available. So one thing that we've added in recent builds, recent versions due to popular demand, is this hide uninstalled option. What this does is hides all the content that you don't have installed so that you're only seeing what you do have installed and you don't have to see all the categories that you haven't added any content in. If you want to download content again, you can always go back into Manage Library mode and see that again and see the counts. So once we're in the hide uninstalled mode or the other mode, we can browse content. We can go in and see a book. We can browse. One other feature you'll notice is that as we browse these sections, these are breadcrumbs up at the top that are tappable, so I can go back to the home and then I can go see go into chapters. So if I'm in, let's say 1 Nephi chapter 17. So the biggest new features that we've added in this version is in relation to the annotation sync. We now have fairly advanced highlighting and the ability to annotate your scriptures and as well as some other content. So you'll see once you tap and hold on a word, it will select it and highlight it. Then I can drag these sliders to what I do want to highlight. I can also change the color. If I want to make it a different color, I can do so. I can add a note. And then the notes will show up down in the annotation pane. I can close those with the back button or just by collapsing them. I can tap there to show those notes again. I can collapse that. I can copy this to the clipboard. You'll see there's a message that shows up indicating it's been copied. I can add even multiple annotations in the same verse if I want to. So if you want to highlight part of a verse one color and part another, and even add separate notes. We can do so. And we have this functionality that lets us disambiguate between the two different annotations or any number of annotations that we have that are overlapping each other, which makes it nice to tell where we have overlapping annotations and highlights. I can also choose if I accidentally add one or if I want to change and delete one. I can choose to delete it. If I have a note associated with an annotation, though, it will warn me. It'll say, are you sure you want to delete it, because we have a note. So a couple other features that you can see. I can swipe back and forward in chapters. I can also tap on cross-references and it will show me the reference for that particular verse. Then I can tap there and go to the reference. I can go in there. I can press the back button and it'll go back to where I just was. Some of the other features that I'll have is I can change the options for what I'm viewing, and it will give me a preview of I can change the text size. It'll show me right here what the text size is going to look like. So if I want a larger font, I can do that. I can make the screen brighter or more dim. I can change the orientation if I want to. I can move it to night mode so that it's black background with white text, and I can change the type of font and also justify the text. So you'll see those, once you say OK, those changes go into effect immediately. And I can go back in and change them any other way that I would like. So some of the other features, I can see where I've recently been and I can go to those sections. I can go back to that topical guide reference that I just visited. I can also see bookmarks that I've created and I can visit them. In the bookmarks that I've created, I can name them whatever I want, but I can also update an existing bookmark. So if I wanted to create a reading bookmark like I have here and I wanted to update it to this section, I can long press on it and then I can either delete it or update it. So this is if I'm reading every day or every night, I can change the bookmark so I know where my place is every single time I want to start reading. A couple other things that you can do is I can search for content. So you'll notice right now I have this message that says not all my content has been indexed. This is a message you'll see when after you first install content, it takes a little bit of time to index that content. So we'll come back to the search in a minute once the indexing has completed. So inside of the More, I can force it to sync the annotations. I can show this bottom menu that shows me my notes that I've created for different verses. I can change my settings that we'll go into. There's quite a bit of settings. Sync annotations has to do with the user that your account you're signing into, the LDS account that is getting annotations sunk to it. We also have settings for night mode that we just explored. Automatic tilt scroll that allows you to scroll based on the tilt angle of the phone. We can run the application in a full screen mode that will hide the navigation bar at the top, as you can see. I can choose to not dim the screen. so that the phone will stay on or the device will stay on. I can choose to lock the orientation in here. I can say whether I want to allow downloading over the cell network or not if you have limited data. I can change the font size to a larger font or a smaller font. I can choose to justify text or choose the type of font typeface that I want to use. I can change indexing settings, whether I want to allow indexing or not. I can change when it's going to index, so I can change that to any time so that it'll happen right away. And I can choose whether I want to check for catalog updates frequently. So you'll see now that I changed that setting. Let's remove the full screen mode again because that hides our notification. We'll see that we have a notification showing us what's being indexed. We added additional details in this version that will show you specifically which chapters are being indexed so you can watch how it's happening. We've also made this so it's far less intrusive on your phone. You should be able to perform other activities and go into even other applications, and it shouldn't impede the performance of your phone while this happens now. We can see that we have the help section. We have several options in there for the how-to guide, the online help, and submit the bug report. The submit a bug report feature is extremely helpful if you do find a problem and you want to let us know about it. This will grab the logs from your device for a short period of time and send them to us so we can try to troubleshoot the problem and help you fix it, or come up with a fix if there's a more severe problem that we need to fix. And we can also see the about screen that shows us the model of phone that I'm running and the version of the application. There's quite a number of features, as you can see. Once indexing is complete, the searching is extremely quick. You'll see it return results almost immediately. I can always go in the menu and go back to the home so I can see my content again, and then if I want to add new content. If you ever think you're missing a magazine or some other content that might be out, say it's a new month and you don't see the magazine in your list, the first thing you'd probably want to do for that is to press this refresh button that will update the catalog so that you can be aware of new content that's available. This will also happen automatically over time, but it may not happen as quickly as you're wanting it to sometimes. This is a overview of the main features of Gospel Library in the new version 2.1. Thanks for watching.